Have you ever wondered who's behind the leading edge sign? In this series of interviews with leading edge real estate agents, we'll uncover exactly who is behind the sign, what makes them so unique, and how they're staying on top of their real estate game while living their best life. Hey everyone, welcome to Behind the Sign. I'm Christine George, and today I'm here with my friend, Greg DiGiorgio. Welcome, Greg.
Hi, how are you?
He's also known as the BBQ Broker. So I'm really excited to talk to Greg today because he is one of our most unique agents. He's been with our company for many, many years, and he's just always incredibly positive, always smiling, has eternal energy, and I don't think anyone is more dedicated to his clients than Greg is. So I'm really excited to have you here, and I can't wait to talk about BBQ Broker.
Thanks, Christine. Excited to be here. Thank you so much.
It's so fun.
So what's going down?
Yeah, so I wanted to get you on here to talk about BBQ Broker because you are doing something so unique from any other agent. You have tied in essentially something that you're totally passionate about with your business, and it's and it's really helped build your brand.
Yes.
So, and that is you love barbecue. So can you kind of like take us back and like just tell us where the passion started, how it all began?
It was a trip to Chicago back in 2008.
Yeah.
I went with my wife and her parents to visit a family friend, and he was making ribs. He's like, "Yeah, I've been marinating these ribs for a couple of days. We're gonna put it on smoking tomorrow." I've always loved ribs growing up. That was like my favorite thing. Anytime, going to the ground round or the 99, ribs was just something that I'd always get. And I didn't know you could smoke them in your backyard. I didn't even know you could cook them at home. I had no idea. I've always been a griller, an avid griller of steaks and steak tips and the things that we do in New England, the hot and fast cooks that we're used to. I've always been fond of cooking on fire. But the whole indirect fire thing and smoking, I was just oblivious to the whole thing. And that trip changed my life after I had those backyard ribs that he smoked for 5 or 6 hours, low and slow. Changed everything for me. That whole flavor profile, it was just blew my mind. So I said to Rachel, when we buy our first house, I'm getting a smoker. And 2 years later, we bought a house in Wakefield where we still live. And I got that same smoker that guy had, a little electric Brinkman bullet water smoker. You get it at Home Depot, plug it in.
That was like what, 10 years ago, 11 years ago?
2010.
Wow.
So I cooked some really bad barbecue for about a solid 4 years, maybe 5, until I upped my game, upped my smoker, and started really learning about the craft, learning about clean wood, using wood rather than electric or propane, and just how to run a clean fire and why it matters. And I just started to obsess over it, just like anything else I latched onto.
Wow.
Just obsessing over it. YouTube video after YouTube video, book after book. And I hate reading books, but it was about barbecue. I'd pick it up and read it.
That is awesome.
So that's kind of how the fire started. No pun intended. Yeah, literally.
How did you?
And I was just hooked on it.
How did you incorporate it into your business? Because it wasn't that long ago that you incorporated it. It was only a couple of years ago, right?
So we get invited to a lot of housewarming parties. A lot of them. We take our clients out and you build a relationship with them over time. And especially the buyers, you're going house to house to house. When they have that housewarming party, usually if you got along with them and everything went smooth in the transaction, you're getting an invite to that party.
Yeah.
Now, the time already came where I've already given people their closing gifts. So now you go into the housewarming party and typically bringing food. So we bring food, this and this, some different things or cakes or whatever. And one day I said to Rachel, I said, I should smoke a brisket and bring it tomorrow. She goes, "You're going to stay up for 15 hours smoking a brisket?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "It'll be a long night, but think about how much they'll enjoy it." So I started doing it, and I did like 4 or 5 of them. And then I was hanging around with a couple realtor friends, having lunch, kind of a little networking group we had going on. And I was telling them about it. this is what I've been doing. And all of a sudden, one of them says, "Oh, you're like the barbecue agent," and then another one's like, "Oh, you're like the barbecue realtor." So then I sat back for a minute and I was like, "Well, I have my broker's license, so would that make me the barbecue broker?" And they were like, "Yes, yes." So then that's kind of how that idea was born. And then the ever so fabulous Amanda Driscoll
Mhm.
and I was talking to her. I said, maybe we should get a logo going, or she mentioned maybe we should do a logo or something came up like that. Some conversation back at the office. I said, let's do it. Keep it simple. Let's just see what you come up with. And literally just a few designs in, she nailed it. And
Yeah.
it was just awesome, which is right here, as you can see.
Yes.
So simple, so to the point.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. So we just came up with the logo, and but it was really so then I didn't have an owner catering business at that point. It was just a fun thing we were doing. I'd have my sign out and I'd say, if you sell a house to me or buy a house to me, then you get a free brisket at your housewarming party.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, like I put that sign up at my open house. So
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
when people would come, they'd be like, "Wait, what is this?" And they'd see a picture of me holding a brisket or something. I'm like, "Hey, want one of these? You got to buy a house with me." But don't pick me because of my brisket. I'm actually a good realtor too. So, and that's kind of how all that went down. Yeah.
Wow. So well, first of all, did you ever serve brisket at an open house? I have to know this.
No, I'd never served a brisket at an open house. It's just if you cook a brisket right, it's real juicy, and it just makes kind of a mess. And brisket is one of those things that for it to be served the right way and for it to be at its best, then you really need to cut it on site. There's no pre-cutting it at home and bringing it somewhere, or it's going to oxidize, change color, dry up on you. And that's not the type of brisket you want to serve people. That's what you get, unfortunately, in a lot of barbecue places around here, but that's not how you want it. So you got to cut it on site. So it does make a little bit of a mess. So I've never, I'm concentrating on the house, that I'm working and representing the seller. I don't want to make a mess in their house. I want to focus on selling my listing, answering questions from people, not cleaning up brisket juice.
Yeah.
So that's why the idea is great, but the logistics of it, not so much.
It just doesn't work. Well, one thing I love about what you're doing, Greg, is that, this is what I love about what you just said. Like you said, I wouldn't do it for many reasons. One of them being or the biggest reason being, ultimately, it's not going to taste the way you expect it to taste. So, and I think that's the way you treat your clients too. You don't slack on anything. You're not taking any shortcuts, because ultimately, you want the best experience for your people.
Absolutely.
I love that about you.
Absolutely.
All right. So I also want to know, when did you know you were actually onto something? Like, was there a pivotal moment where you were like, I think I've got something here?
So I own and run a group called the New England Pitmasters. We're like a charitable, we're not officially an organ, we're more like a Facebook group. I guess you don't own your Facebook group, but we started, these guys started a group. I got introduced to them. They brought me in as a third, and we had a new logo designed together, and then we, copy wrote it together. So what part of the New England Pitmasters, which now we just hit 5,000 people in our group. So sizable group that we run. It's New England and beyond. We have a ton of guys from Texas in here. We are trying to bring credibility to New England, because people don't really think that we can barbecue here, because most people think of hot and fast, but no one thinks that we can do briskets or ribs or pork or anything like that. So part of the mission is to bring credibility, but also to give back. And a big part of the group, from myself, the two other guys, and our admin team, is that we do a lot of charitable cooks. We cook for state police barracks, first responders, fire stations, gas stations, police stations. We've done one of the first biggest cooks that we did was we raised $22,000 in one day for a 2-year-old with leukemia. We raised $3,000 recently for a 12-year-old with lymphoma.
Wow.
So, and a lot of these guys are members of our group that have these stories, or something going on in their life that we want to give back or try to raise money for through barbecue. So when we by doing these events, the positive feedback on the food was so overwhelming. It was like, and then the guys that I'm working with and doing these with, because it's not by myself, but it kind of, using some of my recipes and some of my cook methods. I'm not doing it all myself, obviously. These guys are great and they're so knowledgeable at barbecue and great cooks. But the feedback was just so overwhelming. And my buddy's like, I think you got something here. People love your food. You got to do something with this. So, you keep hearing, that's good, it's good. But after a couple of years of it, and people are just, hey, can you do a party for me? I'm like, I'm not a caterer, I'm a realtor.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps asking, hey, can you do my kid's graduation party? Can you do this, do that? I'm like, I would love to, but I'm not a licensed insured caterer, So just a bunch of no's. I'm like, why am I saying no to these people? I'm in the middle of a few transactions right now and have nothing else going on. I could be doing a few parties here and there.
Wow.
So that's how it started, and then just kind of incorporated and went with it. So I belong to the Elks in Woburn, and we were they have a lot of they have a cigar club, and since it's a private club, I could cook for these guys whenever. Any of the members can cook. So I would cook for 30 to 50 people, and these guys were they were blown away, and it made me feel so good that these guys, like, I've never been to Texas and had a Texas brisket, but to have someone come over to me and say, I've made the rounds in Texas and I'll stack your brisket up to any of them. And I'm like blown away. I'm like, so maybe I should be doing something. And they're like, yeah. So then during the pandemic, why not start a business, So Rachel and I could not do it without my side chick.
Yeah.
Because she makes all the sides and I just do the meats. So that's
his side chick, by the way, is his beautiful wife.
That's my wife. She's the side chick because she makes all this. My wife is really the best. She's the chef, self-taught, but she is an amazing cook. I can't throw down like she can. I can cook, but she's just amazing at it. So we decided. I said, look, there's a lot of barbecue places popping up here and there, but it's either you have good meats and not great sides, or great sides and not good meats. Maybe we should do something. Took her a while to come around.
Yeah.
Took me a while to come around. Like, how do I effectively do this and at the same time run, a successful real estate team or keep it going or whatever? Mm-hmm. And I said, life's too short not to take chances. So why not just go for it? And so far, pretty good. We're booked through the summer.
That is
through the whole summer, except for like the last 2 weeks of August are available. We're booked. I have nothing available in September, and we're booking into October. Breweries and different breweries and places like that. We've already done a couple breweries.
That is fantastic. And so
we're busy.
I mean, you branded yourself and all of that, but you also you invested in equipment. Talk about that. And what does it mean for what you do?
For real estate?
No, for the barbecue piece, because you have to have the right equipment. It's a big piece of it.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, we had to get a commercial kitchen. So I have a shared kitchen space that I in Woburn. You have to be licensed out of there, have to be insured, and have your serve safe, your allergy certificate. So I had to take courses and had to get licensed and get insured. I had to buy a smoker, the size of an automobile. It's massive, which I had custom made in Austin, Texas. So if I'm going to serve Texas brisket, I am going to buy a vessel and have a vessel made in the heart of where some of the best brisket in America is sold. And that's what I did. And I got it custom made from Backline Smokers in Austin, Texas. He was also a guest I do a podcast weekly as well, a live podcast every week. And he's been a guest on there, and now he's a sponsor of our show.
Oh, that is phenomenal.
So every Tuesday at 5:00, it's called Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. You can search it up on Facebook. We go live on Facebook for an hour every Tuesday at 5 p.m. It's a video podcast live in the studio that we pay for. Well, that's why we have advertisers now. But and then after we go live on Facebook, it is syndicated across every possible podcast podcast platform that you can think of. And recent stats were in that we were top 25 most downloaded food podcast on iTunes in America, top 20 in Japan, and number 3 in Australia.
Come on.
Australia's got a huge barbecue following. So we ranked the third downloaded food podcast, not even barbecue, just food related podcast.
That's amazing.
Third, top 3 in Australia.
That's awesome. You are the real deal, Greg.
It's so much fun. So I'm just having a lot of fun, and it's been a great how I've been kind of mixing it in with real estate. Yeah. It's been like everyone wants to find that networking group, right? Network and keep your name relevant and get referrals and whatever. And I've been selling homes for 18 years, almost 19 years. It's so hard to organically find something that you love that maybe could be a networking group. You're always like, oh, maybe I should try a car group, or maybe I should try this food group, or maybe I should try this tennis club or whatever, but I've never was able to really organically latch onto something. And this barbecue has done that for me. It literally, I get quite a few referrals through the barbecue network. And because I'm the barbecue broker, it always gets brought up. Like, what's the broker part? Oh, because you broker food, you're selling food. Oh, no, wait, you're a mortgage broker? Oh, you're a real estate broker. So it always leads to, how'd you come up with the name barbecue broker? And then people eventually realize that I'm also a full-time real estate broker.
That is
so, and then people will say, I referred you to my friend. I told him he gets a brisket if he uses you to buy a house.
It all comes
and
back.
I've gotten so many, I've probably gotten no less than 10 leads in the past year for that.
That's awesome. So, I mean, It just goes to show, well, first of all, you were a successful broker before, but now you've created this brand around your passion, and it's paying out in dividends from, the networking that you're doing within this barbecue community, which is so cool. So one question I have is, and you kind of alluded to it before, how do you actually manage both of these businesses successfully? And you're a dad, you have 3 beautiful children, and you're married.
Everybody's in sports every night of the week.
Yes.
It's a lot. And no one feels as though running a Facebook group or a podcast is a job either, but it is, because to run a successful group where no one's bashing each other, cutting each other down, you're constantly monitoring it. You're constantly having your admins in the group saying, should we boot this guy? What do you think about this comment? And for the podcast, we're constantly trying to land guests for our show.
Yep.
So it's a lot. How I'm managing it, I have no idea. I operate at a high gear anyway. My body temperature is always a couple of degrees hotter than most people. I sweat easier than most people. My engine is always revved. I'm just go, go, go. I don't know how long that will last. I feel good. I'm getting sleep, believe it or not. I have a great team. John is obviously fantastic, and he's managing the transactions now for us.
Yeah.
And he also, I think what I've been doing lately is I've been giving most of the buyer leads to John anyway. He does the open houses on the weekends. I'm working with only select buyers at this moment, whether they were either a past client or a referral from a past client. I'm not taking any new business for buyers. And so I'm only doing mostly listings. That's my focus.
Yeah.
And I do need to hire another buyer agent. So if you're out there and you want to take your real estate game to the next level and just plug already right into a system, DM me, because we need another buyer agent. Let it be known. I want to do no running around on the weekends. I want to cook for people. So, but I'll tell you this. If you do buy a house from one of my team agents, I will show up at your housewarming party with a brisket, because that does count.
Oh my God, I love it. And I'm actually really excited about the party you're hosting for Leading Edge in August.
Oh, and by the way, I have to give my wife a lot of credit here, because she is running the day-to-day operations for the BBQ Broker catering.
Yeah.
She really is booking all the jobs, sending out the estimates, doing the scheduling. She's running point on the business, because I'm still obviously running point on real estate. It would be really hard to run point on both. It would take away from real estate. It really would, because we are always on for our clients.
Yeah.
Always on,
You
always
are.
available, and always need to run out quickly and do something. So I couldn't do it without her. It's a huge team effort, And she quit her job, her part-time job. So she's all in on BBQ Broker, totally all in on the business. So she runs the day-to-day. I just show up and cook.
That's okay. Greet the people. I mean, that's it. I mean, your personality, the food, I've had it. It's amazing.
Thank you.
But I mean, without you, it wouldn't be the same.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
For sure.
And I mean, I am, and what you were saying earlier, yes, I'm psyched to be cooking for the Leading Edge barbecue.
Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot
That's
wait.
That's gonna be fun, you know. I was so worried last year how I was gonna do it, because I wasn't even a company or anything yet. I'm like, I'm gonna have to sleep at Linda's. I have no warmers. Like, but now it's like I have it all figured out. I'm like, oh, this is easy. I'm just gonna cook the night before and put everything in my warmer in my kitchen and just roll in the next day. Because all barbecue is pre-cooked and rests for some odd hours before you serve it, to make sure it's where it needs to be. It's not just coming off the smoker and ready to serve. So everything will be good. And you guys are gonna be in for it. It's gonna be a special party. It's gonna be awesome.
I cannot wait.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to hang out with you guys at the beach. All right.
No, I know. You're cooking. You're gonna be working.
Yeah, I'll be working. It'll be a job. It'll be a work day. What's that?
I hope we're paying you well.
I don't even know yet. We got to get the quote out to you guys. I was like, it's booked, but we haven't even went over any of the menu or anything yet. So I talked to Bianca the other day. She's gonna call Rachel, and they'll figure it out. So it'll be fun though. It's gonna be fun.
So Greg, this has been awesome. I mean, I can tell that you're a podcaster because you're so comfortable and you're just on point. But I want to make sure people know where to find you. So how do people get in touch?
Yes. So you can hit me up on Instagram. It's the BBQ Broker, the _BBQ Broker. But if you just search the BBQ Broker, you'll find me 400 plus posts that I tag. And then also on Facebook, the BBQ Broker Catering LLC. And then also you can find me at the DiGiorgioteam.com for any real estate needs, or the DiGiorgio team on Facebook or Instagram. And that's pretty much it. Those are my go-tos. I'm not a huge Twitter guy, and I love YouTube and the thought about doing YouTube, but I'm not really loving editing my videos every time. It's just a pain in the butt.
No, you got to hire me, for sure.
It's just, I don't have to, you got to pick and choose. I got too many things on my plate. When you're a YouTuber and you want to be a successful YouTuber, you put time into being a YouTuber, and that's another job.
It is.
And at the moment, I can't really take on anymore.
You're a big Instagrammer though, too.
Very big Instagrammer. Yeah. The barbecue, my real estate. It's funny. I grew a pretty good following before barbecue on my real estate Instagram. And then it slowly morphed into the BBQ Broker Instagram. And then I still had, Leading Edge on there. And I still post on open houses and my real estate stuff. And I was kind of doing both for a while. The minute I changed over from real estate to just barbecue on my BBQ Broker one, before I created my new real estate one, right when I did that, it changed. Then people knew that, oh, now I can buy food from you. And then they started coming to the pop-ups. And that's when things really, really picked up. But I've had Instagram for a while, and only until a few years ago have I really latched onto it. And it is truly your branding platform. You got to be on Instagram. You have to be, at least for the, anyone 40 below.
Yep. 40
years old or below. And if you're advertising to people 40, 45 and above, it's a Facebook thing. Yep. Those are your two branding platforms. So far, so good.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And
awesome.
If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you click that subscribe button, and so that you get notified next time we publish a new episode. And of course, if you have a passion that you want to bring to life in your business, let us know. We want to know about it. Leave us a comment below. And of course, remember to reach out to Greg, follow Greg on Instagram, Facebook, and we'll put all of your links into the show notes.
And the BBQBroker.com is now live.
The BBQBroker.com is live.
Yep. We just activated it, put our menu up there last week. So if you want to go check out some of our menu options. Rachel put together a phenomenal website.
Fantastic. I'm going to check it out as soon as we get out of here.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
Thanks so much, Christine. Appreciate it. All right, bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd love it if you'd like, comment, and share it. Check us out at leadingedgeagents.com and like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn.